Alright, I'm back with Chapter 4. This chapter features a story which, interestingly enough, was written by no one. Okay, that's not true. Someone wrote it. However, Donald Mustard was fully retired at this point, the effects of which were felt immediately when, the moment he left, Epic dropped the worst event ever made. Epic did hire a new creative director, Charlie Wen, but he was most likely immediately put on developing the story for Chapter 5, so the story for Chapter 4 has no creative direction. Literally. With that being said, let's see what this chapter is all about. So where were we? Oh right, in Fortnite's worst event ever, Brie Larson forged a new island from several different realities. We've got the IO in the past, led by a younger version of Geno. We've also got a random green reality, because that's kind of a default color for Fortnite islands. And finally, we've got an ice biome from Reality 659. The story this season is kind of divided into two parts, and the first half is led by Amy, the scientist chat GPT from Fortnite Vibin. With all the 7 members either dead or missing, Amy has no prime directive, so she's basically allowed to do whatever she wants. But, luckily for us, she doesn't take over the world because she's too down bad for Fat Walter White, and wants to build herself a body so she can go to the last reality and find him. Much like Amy, the Looper also doesn't seem to have a prime directive. So when Geno's gay twink boyfriend comes crying to us about his bad dreams, we have no choice but to help him build a portal to someone who, quote, watches us with a dark purpose. You'd think that after hearing about that we'd try to stop him, but honestly, I don't blame the Loopers for being skeptical after being told reality is going to end for the 5th time. So, we build the portal. But then Amy uses it to go find her daddy, and then the Nintendo Switch fangirl from Fortnite Vibin hijacks it to bring her coworkers and an entire fucking country to the island. However, this overloads the Rift Gate, which causes it to explode into a giant rift in the sky. Now you're thinking with portals. The season ends with Geno's boyfriend pretending the business with the Shapeless Man is actually going to go anywhere. But remember, Donald Mustard didn't write this story. You know it's bad when the community is more interested in 3 high schoolers fighting vampires than the actual overarching plotline. Okay, let's move on. So last season, Eevee brought the entire country of Japan to the island, including Mega City, which is probably smaller than the average Midwestern small town. Mega City is home to a bunch of syndicates, which, as you can probably guess, don't get along very well. First up is the Peace Syndicate, who employ the Nintendo Switch girl that caused all this. They try to keep the peace by employing heavily violent methods on anybody who dares disturb it. Next is the Fox Clan. These guys are required to adopt a fursona upon initiation, but they get pink lightning powers, so maybe it's worth it? Then we have the River Guard. Their entire motivation is that they hate the Fox Clan, and you best believe there won't be any other details revealed about this group. The Luminaries also exist, and their character trait is that they're smart. Too smart to get involved in the plot at all. Finally, there's the Unseen. Aptly named because they go unseen for half the season, only for it to be revealed that they were the ones who destroyed the files in the last reality. Wow! Somebody from the last reality hired the Unseen to wipe all records of their existence? I wonder how this will affect the larger narrative. It won't. Anyway, it seems that dropping a large city onto an island held together by flex tape and prayer wasn't a very smart idea, because now there's earthquakes on the island and vines are coming out of the ground. So, now there's a large hole in the middle of the map that apparently contains a piece of some jungle reality that we never knew about. But the biggest reveal of the season is that Dr. Sloan is fucking back! Yes! Finally, some real story. She barely does anything, doesn't she? Well, basically there's this really old jungle device called the apparatus that Sloan wants to fix. Not sure why, but we basically worked the entire season towards that while Optimus Prime hacks the radio to tell us the world is gonna end. It's literally the 6th fucking time. Nobody believes this anymore. Once the apparatus is fixed, it tells us the date and time of an upcoming eclipse, which really only loosely ties into the next season. In general, this season was painfully boring. They did a collab with JJK, but according to my superfan friend Wee, not even that could save the season. Okay, bear with me while I try to explain this season. A time-traveling vampire named Kato Thorn has come to the island. Why? Only God knows. Basically, he's this super rich guy who also steals a bunch of shit. So the story is now about stealing shit from the guy who steals shit. So this great value Jonesy has set up a heist crew, and they've become experts at robbing Cotto Thorne. Now, Dr. Sloan has decided that she wants Cotto Thorne's time machine, so she hires the crew to steal it. They do this successfully, but only because random crew skin number 35 kills Cotto Thorne off screen during the eclipse. Yes, that was how the eclipse ties in. Cotto just becomes a big bat guy instead of being super hot. So why does Sloan want the time machine anyway? Well, Epic Games realized that the only way to bring people back to Fortnite after this dogshit chapter was to bring back Chapter 1. So she uses the time machine to bring us all the way back to Season 5. So now we're back in Chapter 1. What's the story? Basically, Sloan just tells Jonesy to strap the time machine to the rocket from Season X, and driving that shit into the 0 point resets the Omniverse somehow. This creates a bunch of new realities, including a Lego world, a music world, and hell. Now, let me take this opportunity to tie up some loose ends from this chapter. Who was the shapeless man giving our favorite twink bad dreams? Absolutely no one. This plot thread is never revisited. Where did Amy go, and what happened to the Seven? Don't know. As far as I'm concerned, she died. Where did Cotto Thorne come from, and why did he show up on the island? Couldn't tell you. But I guess it doesn't matter anyway, because we time traveled to Chapter 1 and then reset the entire multiverse for Chapter 5. So yeah, Chapter 4 sucks ass. I have truly never seen a more directionless storyline in my life. It was painfully obvious that this was because Donald Mustard quit and the new creative director either hadn't been hired yet or was told to focus on developing Chapter 5. I'll admit that Chapter 5 at least ties together nicely, but rest assured, there's plenty of bullshit and unanswered questions as well. Can't wait to tell you about it. I'll see you later.